Hey everybody, this is Frank Molicalo, host of The Table, the podcast where people you know tell stories you don't, and here's my co-host for the day,
Nathan Keyworth.
And our guest is...
Hi, my name is Vanessa Croix, and I used to be a counselor here at Stratford, and I love Stratford, America. And right now, I am a reporter and fill-in anchor for KENS 5 News out of San Antonio. It's a CBS affiliate in San Antonio.
Wow, that's a really big jump from counselor.
Super big jump, yes. So, go ahead, Nathan. You're going to ask me something?
How did that happen? Did you have any connections or something?
No, actually, I didn't. It was one of those things I've just always wanted to do news. I loved it. I was one of those weirdos that would watch every show, I love the news. And so I just, my kids were seniors, juniors and seniors, and they were getting ready to go to college, and they'd come in and talk about their future plans. And I was just like, I have to do this. I have to try. Mm-hmm. So I basically took a big leap of faith. And I went back to U of H and I took some classes while I was still working here. So I go to class at night or on Saturday. And I would also, this is why one thing, and I guess we can talk about this in just a second, how Stratford really helped me. But I would come and see Miss Cummins and the broadcast journalism teacher, and I would borrow the cameras and I would do all these videos for announcements. They were probably like, oh my God, so tired of seeing Miss Croix on the announcements again. But I did all that and they helped me. They taught me how to use the editing programs. And and then I resigned from my job here and I got an internship. And I was the oldest intern probably in the history of interns. But I didn't care, I loved it. And so what you have to do to be in news, you put together they call it a reel. It's an example, it's like a portfolio, but it's, digital. It's all, all your clips and things.
It's going to show us what you've done.
Yeah,
right?
To show how you are in camera, how you, if you're comfortable, how you can move around. And and I got a couple offers and I started in College Station. So I worked there for 2 years and then I've been at KENS 5 for a year now.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So how's it like working in that environment? Is it always very energetic or?
You have good days and bad days. I love it. Some days I get to do fun stories. We did a story the other day about a 5th grader who was born without most of his arm. Wow. But he loved to play the violin, right? And so when he found out he couldn't play because he, just couldn't physically play, the librarian at his school and a bunch of teachers and then all these people from the district came together and built him this apparatus using 3D printers so he could play the violin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was so cool. So sometimes I get to do those stories, but most of the time, we're covering news. So it may be a shooting. We have to, on Thanksgiving, I had to approach a family whose loved one killed himself and shot his ex-wife in the house. And you have to ask the family, can you talk to us on a holiday? And it was the worst part of my job. But, you're bringing people the news. And unfortunately, a lot of news is sad. But I think of it, when I'm driving home and there's a bunch of police cars at the Valero by my house, right? I want to know what happened there. So what do? Do I call the police? Hey, what are you guys doing out in the Valero, No, I go to my news station and I find out what's going on. So, that's why it's important to have a good relationship with the, law enforcement, with the fire department, so we can get the word out. But yeah, I love it. It's been really a long ride, but a fun ride.
Do you ever find yourself reporting or just random things at the grocery store, and it's the avocados are especially cheap today or something like that?
You mean do I do things like that? Or do I think about how I can make it a story?
Or both in a way?
Always. You're always looking for stories, right? I'm one of those people in line at HEB and they're talking in front of me and I'm like, excuse me, sorry to overhear you, I'm just listening. I'm one of those people because you're always looking for a good story to tell. And that's the way that we think about it sometimes. It's how can you tell a story? So if you're reporting on this fire, how can you make it into a story? You have to find a character. And so maybe it's the people that lost their home, or maybe it's the firefighter that jumped in and saved the pets, So it really, you get out there and you kind of decide, well, what's the story here? And that's exciting, because every day it's different. There's something new.
Yeah.
So
out of all the stories that you've covered or written, which one is your favorite one?
Oh, that's really hard because I've done a lot. Recently, I've been going down to the border and doing some things down there that a lot of people don't know about, that a lot of people haven't reported on. Some news outlets have, but not usually general local news.
Yeah, it's not really all that major yet.
It was a few months ago. It's kind of dying down, and so that's why I was there last week kind of doing that story, but there's still other issues. And just talking to people out there that haven't had a voice to say, hey, this is what's going on. one of my big things is advocating for people that don't have a voice. We did a story. This is one of my favorites only because of what happened afterward. This sweet old couple, he was a Vietnam veteran. Their house, they lost everything in a house fire. I mean, everything, their pets. It was just heartbreaking. But because of our story, somebody volunteered to give them a new home. Basically, it was like a trailer, but it's a home. Yeah. Somebody volunteered to donate furniture for them. Somebody volunteered to donate, to put a bathroom in this building. So I mean, those are the kind of things. It's a sad story, but because of doing it. Yeah. And there's been a couple things like that where someone has come forward and said, "How can I help?" And then that's when you're just like, yeah, that's why I do this.
Those effects kind of remind me of this one news story that's going to be around now. This one man that he wrote a Christmas song, I think in the 60s, and he recorded it, but it was never played on the radios. And they played it in a radio thing here in Houston. Okay. And it's just been like a domino effect, just spreading everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And so he's 80-something now.
Oh, yeah. And his song is finally out. See? I love it. Love it. And the challenge is that a lot of people don't watch the news anymore. I mean, do you guys ever follow anything on the news? Do you turn on the TV and watch the news? It doesn't hurt my feelings if you don't.
Every now and then. I mean, and it's just because my mom's watching it, but I do I mean, if I'm watching news, I turn more into the NFL Network and stuff like that.
Well, a lot of people get their news now from Twitter,
That's
Facebook. I mean, it's all it's all on your phone. That's what I was going to say. I was going to grab my phone, but I mean, everything. This is where a lot of people get their news. So part of my job is putting things. Facebook is an easy one because you can the videos don't but we do things on Twitter. You have to get the word out that way too. Because somebody may be sitting in their car stuck in traffic and wants to know what's going on. Well, they can't throw it on the TV, but they can look at their phone, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, as we said before, you were a Stratford counselor. So how have the things that you've learned at Stratford kind of affected the things you do now?
Well, I think a lot of it was just the support that I got from people here. I was trying to get into an industry that's very hard to get into. I mean, it just is. And it's hard for someone like me that tries to go into it as a second career because I'm competing with people that are just out of college. It's hard. But, I mean, the support network here at Stratford is so amazing. It's just so amazing. The people that came forward and helped me, like I said, I used to use the cameras in here. I would come in and sit down and use the computers and the editing equipment. And, Miss Cummins didn't have to stop and help me, but she did because she cares. And it kind of extends towards, the teachers, how they feel towards the students. And then it's just a big family. And, I still talk about my time at Stratford, how much I loved it. Because people are like, do you ever miss education? And I said, yeah. You know what I really miss? It's my school, and I miss the students. That's what I miss. I don't miss the writing lesson plans and, things like that, all the extra stuff I did. But I just miss the students and the teachers, my friends here. And I think it just says a lot about the school and the products of the school. I mean, I still am in contact with a lot of my students, and they're amazing. And a lot of that is them, of course, but a lot of it was being at Stratford and learning those values and things like that. And they're just, shout out to my kids. I'm so proud of them. I still call them all 500 of them. I know.
So which teachers would you kind of give a shout out to now?
Oh gosh, but there's so many, and I don't even know who's here anymore. I mean, Miss Cummins, I know Miss Lynch left. She always helped me. Gosh, a lot of people have left. I don't even know who all is here.
Mr. Hall?
Mr. Hall, yeah. And, because they would all come in and talk to me, and I used to like to go in the classrooms and visit. Mr. Blaze is a dear friend of mine. He and I worked together. He was I should have taken off my name tag for this, but... So yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. Just a good place to be. You guys know that.
Yeah. So. I think I'm a senior. You're still a junior.
Yeah.
So I'm still walking around. It's still kind of surreal. That for me, I'm just saying, wow, this is my finals.
I know.
I can extend all of them. So it does feel almost like you're walking somebody else's shoes in a way in senior year because you don't know anybody. From 6th grade, you've always been looking up at somebody.
Yeah.
It's always been a grade above you.
Gotcha.
But now you're there, and I'm like, wait.
You're almost, and then you have to go out to the real world now, again, and leave here, and it's like starting over.
Yeah. It's just weird being like a junior too, because it's for me at least, because freshman year, I mean, didn't seem that long ago, but if you think about it, it kind of was.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm a voter here from like different middle school in the district, and like I maybe knew like 5 people when I first got here, so I had to like, make like a new friend network, just like a whole new network, like just like
and that's hard. I mean, it is hard. That's hard for anybody.
I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself, because like I know pretty much almost all of my grade, and and then some other people like Frank over here, and just I'm proud of that.
I know. See, that's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being in this podcast. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank y'all for asking me to do this. I'm excited. And always.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. I was excited to get here. And I always say, if anybody needs help or has questions about journalism, or you're thinking about doing it, feel free to call me. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram. I'm happy to help. And I think it's a big pay it forward, because so many people helped me when I started doing this, not just here, but in the industry and during my internship. People still help me, and I always pay it forward. I mean, that's advice for you guys as a senior. Come back next year and ask if anybody have any questions. What can I do? Always pay it forward. So.
All right. Well,
awesome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, cool.
It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.